Welcome back to another episode of WittyBantr. Your hosts Daniel and Nabil are here.
Yep.
And Anika, our regular host, is not here. So I don't know. I guess
if there's
only like a way that somebody could magically like just appear here to take that spot, maybe we can make a little magic wish.
Make a wish.
Okay. I wish that we had another host in 3, 2, 1. Abracadabra.
Oh! Relax, dude.
I don't like this one. Do I get do back?
I finally made it. Yeah. This is not what I wished for. Return wish.
Welcome back, and so we're talking about noise pollution earlier.
We were.
Why don't you go ahead and explain your predicament real quick here?
I already told you about it.
Yeah, but our viewers haven't heard it yet.
Yeah.
It's true. Daniel wasn't there either.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of noise issues with my upstairs neighbor. He walks very heavy, which is like that never made sense to me. Walking really heavy.
What about it doesn't make sense?
Doesn't it hurt you? Like to walk that heavy?
Are they? What do you mean by heavy? Like they're stomping
like your
feet?
Yeah, like your heels. Don't they hurt after a while?
I could always hear in my previous apartment that
in Santa Barbara,
people,
really,
like people with heels.
Okay, yeah. This is like at all hours, and a subwoofer upstairs.
Oh.
And I'm definitely like overly sensitive about it.
Could you always hear like in other apartments?
No, that's
Davis?
the thing.
No,
not in Davis. Not in the other place in San Jose where my bike got stolen. Wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I had sound issues in San Francisco.
You could hear the neighbors.
You could hear the people upstairs. Well, also the room I was renting was like a garage that was converted into a thing.
Yeah, there was like no windows.
Wait, what was that movie?
There was one window.
What was that movie with the guy in Atlanta? Have you seen that movie?
I haven't seen it. I know where he's like a telemarketer.
Yeah.
I haven't
Sorry
seen
to bother you.
Yeah. I haven't seen that.
He lives in like a garage at first too, and the door just randomly opens.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they try.
Mine was the wall was blocked off.
Yeah.
Oh.
Where the garage would have been. The door, I mean.
At least you could see like a garden in the backyard.
But yeah.
I think in general, it's probably better to have the highest floor possible because you're always going to hear people.
Yeah, dude. I'm trying to move right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Upstairs.
You extended it until April?
Till August.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're like, all right, if you want to move, you can because it's like so bad. So I'm trying to figure out. They're trying to get me like a 5th floor unit too.
Oh, really?
But yeah.
See, when I went
cried enough to.
When I went to look for apartments in New Jersey, I would ask them about the walls and if they were made of concrete.
Oh,
that's a good point.
For soundproofing.
Dude, you know what?
And I got lucky because there's area I was searching.
Oh yeah.
All had brand new apartments.
Herbie.
So yeah, exactly. Shouts out to Herbie Live.
Hey, that was a good call living there too.
Yeah.
You would have been so irritated if you like.
I agree. It helped that one, there was like no one there.
Yeah.
And then two.
Yeah.
You were the first and only person.
One of the first.
Michael knows.
But here's the thing. I don't trust anyone enough to like, if they tell me, the walls are concrete, I'll be like, I don't believe it. They would just lie to you, right?
Yeah. Maybe. But that's such a...
That? Like, that's not advertised.
Well, so when I asked, they were pretty genuine. One of the ladies was like, I don't know, but I'll... They're literally the people who were working on it because like sections of the apartment building were still being built. So they went to go ask or something like that.
You just go watch them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I would recommend a little more sound dampening.
What the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, I suppose they could lie to you, but that's also kind of a specific question. And it's like, true. If you had to lie on the spot, it might be kind of...
It's whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever
it's everything you want it to be. It's a luxury as well.
It's a luxury. Yeah, dude, mine is definitely like wood because you can hear everything.
Yeah.
Well, in California, they have to make it wood, right? There's no concrete.
Well, see, the thing is, though, like, there's concrete buildings here.
That's true. I guess, like, sky rises and stuff.
I mean, they're steel.
They can't make those out of wood.
They're steel framed.
Right? New idea.
Wood skyscraper.
The Salesforce building is just all wood.
You see planks falling all the time.
That's why it's sold so much. But yeah, I think I wouldn't want to be in an apartment unless it's soundproof.
Dude, yeah, it's rough.
Really?
You never know, I guess. It's a good question to ask. But I feel like, out here,
you'd have to ask either soundproof or ask for, like, the highest floor.
Dude, highest floor for sure. Because I don't think they can do anything about soundproofing if it has to be wood.
They could put...
they won't,
Maybe would know.
They won't, they won't.
Okay, so there's insulation. There's insulation that you put in to keep warm, and that has some sort of dampening effects.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's other materials that you can use to increase the audio dampening effect, but they're not going to when they're building a building, apartment building. I doubt they look into that at that level.
It's just another cost, and they're probably
exactly.
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
and their customers, I don't think they see that as a important demand.
Dude, yeah, I'm trying to think about that too. Do people just not care, or is it just like too late? Then like everyone else doesn't do it.
I think usually they'll complain.
It's such a because it's only when they build a building, right? So that's such a narrow time. There's no like, it's like once it's done, you have to deal with it.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And there's nowhere else in the area that'll do it either. So it's like.
Well, I know, like in the basement of this house, you can go into the walls.
You have a basement?
No, there's no basement.
Yeah, there is on the top floor.
All right, hold on.
It's an attic.
Attic. Sorry.
Basement is down.
Oh yeah. My bad. There's a basement
there.
Yeah.
When you started pointing, I was
like, no,
this isn't gonna be.
Where are we now?
Attic. Yeah.
We
the underground layer.
We're in the basement.
The underground layer we have. Yeah. It's like no.
They cannot know.
Yeah, the attic
takes it off live.
Yeah, damn it. Yeah, end this.
Michael's laughing at him.
Yes.
In the attic, they have like spaces where you can put. Where I was thinking of putting like sound dampening material.
Yeah, it's basically the space in between the walls.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. That would. I don't even know if that would make like a huge difference, but no one's gonna do it. No. Could I do it to my ceiling?
The apartment that you're renting?
Yeah. Could I put it like on the surface of the wall? That was weird, wasn't it?
No. I was trying to check if they can hear your audio, but I think you're fine.
I feel like I just heard breathing in the headphones.
Yes. Wait. So say that again. Though. Say that again. Can you put your own? Can you put your own?
Like, could I buy like? You know those squares that Daniel has in his
room?
Yeah.
Like, that.
I don't think it would do anything.
That'll help a little bit, but not enough.
Yeah.
That would probably help them not hear me.
Yeah. Probably.
Actually.
Damn it.
What if you reverse it?
You could build a room. I know what you could do. Build a room within a room. And make all the pieces modular, so it's not a permanent structure because they wouldn't like it if you had permanent structure.
I've actually seen.
They still probably won't like it if your whole room is covered in modular, like wood, plywood planks.
There is a guy on YouTube who made exactly what you're saying. Like he literally
coated the wall.
I think maybe
that's the thing though. For recording studios, a room within a room is like a term that people use to explain.
I've only seen people like sit in closets and record.
Yeah, that's good though. Closets are good.
Yeah.
It's there's no reverb, no echo because it's very like tight space.
I also heard is like a really popular YouTuber that like he would record under his blanket. Like he'd go in his bed.
I suppose that could help.
Said that worked out.
Is that the person that everyone makes fun of? Like, leave me alone.
Yeah, I think it is. Oh no, not that one.
I was like, that didn't sound.
I'm killing her, Davis. Yeah, not that one. It was someone else.
She'd be under a blanket the whole time.
Yeah, like when they're doing voiceovers for some. I think they were doing like analysis on Game of Thrones or something like that.
Okay.
And like they would record underneath blanket
just
because there's too much
though.
noise. Yeah.
Okay.
And use like a condenser mic and all that.
Just the whole video is them under a blanket.
Yeah, recording themselves.
I would actually like that more than those videos that talk to you. You know, where they just look at the camera and they just like tell you things.
Oh, versus them being under the blanket and talking to you?
Yes.
Yes, I prefer that.
No, you know when they're just like sitting at a camera talking to you?
Yeah.
I don't like those.
Why not?
I wanted to have something in there, something to watch.
I see what you're saying.
So I'd rather just have someone like in a blanket. Like if it's just gonna be audio and listening to
I see what you're saying.
Like the video, like
there's a lot of people who do that.
See your face.
Like they'll be doing stuff, but like they'll just do a voice over or whatever they're.
That's better.
No, he's saying like when people just turn the camera on themselves and start talking.
Yeah. But I'm saying like the other way, like what other people do as opposed to just talking to them.
I see.
Those show like some scene.
Like they're playing a video game or they're showing some scene.
Right. That's actually popular. It's like people will play games like
games,
but like they're not even talking about the game. They're talking about like other stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just like that runs in the background.
Rather than you don't
you
looking
can
at
watch
their
the
face.
game. It's just like weird to have someone just talking to you on.
It's weird to like talk to people.
I agree.
I'm over people.
But you've been having
brother.
a sound problem as well with your computer thing. Is that what is it? The graphics card, the coil wine?
Oh yes. I have coil wine in my graphics card. You've been having
noise pollution, but in a different.
We have an
way.
electrical engineer here. Can you explain
where?
I don't know. I thought he was next to me.
Is one of here too?
No, he's in Spain.
Yeah.
Malaga.
Although you did
Okay.
find one of them.
So coil wine, from what I understand, is
Anyway.
like when you you have your little coils where electricity goes through,
Okay. Yeah.
and they're all wounded up and spiraled up together.
Mhm.
And then, like, I guess if you run, it's like when the peak and the, what is it, like the amperage or voltage that is running at a steady rate, and then you have
Mhm.
peaks, right? So if the peak is like way too far away from what it
Yeah.
normally is running at, and it does that a lot,
Uh-huh.
then somehow that causes vibrations in the coil wine to
So
create.
it sounds like an inductor, which like stores energy. It sounds like a filter. This is a power supply unit, you said?
This is it happens on power supply units,
Okay.
but this is happening to my GPU,
Mm.
which actually I don't even know if it has any like coils on
Does
it.
GPUs store power, like at all?
I mean,
I don't know.
like power regulators and stuff. There's like filters. I don't think a GPU like the.
It's definitely causing. So I'm calling it coil wine. It might be
Yeah.
wine from another component, and that's not like the
Okay.
coil.
But it looked like a coil when we saw the video of it, like when they were showing what exactly the source of it is.
Mm.
But maybe it's not.
Yeah, I don't remember,
Hmm.
but yeah, I'm very sensitive to that.
And
Yeah,
like
that
there was
makes
an
sense.
outlet in my room that was like it was like an AC adapter,
Yeah.
and Nabil could hear it from his room somehow.
Oh yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
it through the wall.
There's like whines of. I hear that a lot in my room too. Like certain, even like
So-
the router and stuff makes like weird
Yeah.
clicky noises and stuff.
At first
And-
we thought it was the power extension,
Yeah.
but then it turned out it was like the AC adapter
Hmm.
when it was explained.
And a lot of forums say like, yeah, all electronic devices have coil wine, but then I'm like, yeah, okay, I get that, but like this is different, okay,
Yeah.
buddy. Like whenever I go
Okay,
on
buddy.
forums, they're like, yeah, that's normal, just
Yeah.
live with it. Like, no, buddy, this is not normal. So
It's always such a weird answer to me. Just live with it.
Yeah.
That's how
no,
it
why did I
is.
come to
Deal with
these?
it.
Why did I come to the forums?
Yeah.
Yeah, why am I asking you?
It's really an issue.
Yeah.
Huh.
I guess sometimes
Yeah, I
like
wonder
the
what that
problem
is.
is bigger or is like harder to
So
fix.
yeah, other people have said like, yeah, I've always had coil wine on my NVIDIA GPUs.
Or even mine,
some
you
are
could
worse
hear
than
it.
others.
But then I see other comments where it's like, yeah, I just got this GPU and I don't have any coil wine. This is the first time it's happened
Oh.
to me. And I'm like, all right, well, I wish I had your luck.
Yeah, I wonder what that is.
But you could
What
hear it
caused
in my graphics card as
Yeah,
well.
I could hear it in Daniel's, but
But
see,
very
Daniel's
low.
is in a bigger computer case, and so
Oh,
it's
maybe
drowned
they-
out by the sound of his fans.
Hmm.
But in my
yeah, maybe the acoustics of your case is terrible too, so you can
oh, probably.
because everything's so tightly packed. Actually, I don't know how that works.
There's more holes as well.
Yeah.
I can probably hear it
For-
better because it's literally there's nothing. It's just the graphics card and like a thin piece of aluminum, and then
Yeah,
holes in the
Holes in
aluminum to. Yeah,
that thing is ridiculous.
yeah, it's pretty sweet. You should get one. Flight simulator,
Nice,
okay?
yeah.
That would be the reason
Yeah.
you get it. And also building a computer is fun, but
That's true.
Faisal knows what I'm talking about. Even though,
And
actually, recently he's had a couple issues. Well, one,
Yeah.
he had a blue screen of death, which if our viewers are not familiar, it's when your Windows-based computer just crashes for some reason.
and there's typically a blue screen
And
that
just
shows up.
unexpectedly, and then a blue screen shows up and says, "We have crashed for no
We've
reason."
crashed.
I'm so laughing at him.
No, we have crashed for no reason.
Yeah.
Really.
So then we
Yeah.
did a memory test because my thought is always bad memory, corrupted
Yeah.
memory, and then
That makes sense.
it failed the memory test. One of the
Okay.
sticks did.
One of the RAM sticks.
Yep. Well, first we tried with both, and it failed. Then we
Okay.
did one, and then one of them failed.
Did
So-
you guys use the NVM, like persistent
SSD?
storage
No.
memory, or do you guys put like an SSD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the NVMe.
Okay.
I do as
Yeah.
well.
Damn.
That could be it too.
Dude, yeah, that's something I have like I'm not that versed in. I'm still stuck on like SSDs.
Okay.
I know.
So old.
I know.
Yeah.
And I worked at Micron.
Yeah. No, that thing stuff. I mean,
It's supposed to be a lot faster. I don't think I
think
can
my
tell that much of a
MacBook-
difference.
the only
between
thing I
SSD
can
and-
see is like the boots are faster, but like that doesn't really mean anything because I
see.
put my computer to sleep anyway.
Right.
And who cares? I mean,
And it's pretty
even if
fast
it took
anyway.
15 seconds
Yeah.
as opposed to 5, like that's
I
not
feel
a big
like
deal.
my computer boots just as fast as my iPhone does, and that's fine with me.
Yeah. I guess we won't see the performance gains, but it'll be for someone who's maybe
Yeah.
video editing big 4K, 8K video files, and they have to copy and paste from one place to the other.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be.
Then you could see the difference.
I feel like it would be standard in a lot of laptops, but maybe not.
NVMe. Yeah, I also thought like you could. I mean,
They solder.
there'd be
them
other
in
issues,
now.
but it'd be cool if you soldered it to the motherboard, and then it's just the motherboard manufacturers just sold their motherboards with the.
I think that's what like Apple does with their newer laptops. They've been soldering the drive in, but the only problem is if that drive fails for whatever reason.
Yeah, then the whole. That's
how are you gonna replace
Apple.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
If anything, if your screen breaks, you buy a new one.
Anyway.
Yeah. There's no fixing those.
Actually, it was like one of my friends got their laptop fixed, and it was like $800 to get it fixed. So like, just buy.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Like,
that guy that you can't watch his videos, but Lewis whatever Rossman.
Wait, he's
a computer repair guy from New York, and
it's like 50 minutes.
he has a lot of complaints about Apple stuff and how they don't let him repair and stuff like that. So
they try and block it off.
But yeah, you should build a new PC for Flight Simulator.
Oh, I was also gonna say we went to Fry's and we tested out the Flight Simulator
I gotta
thing.
finish the Faisal story too, but anyway, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, that was it. What was the Faisal
story? I was talking about Faisal building a computer.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
The Flight Simulator gear stuff was like metal.
Oh yeah.
You might have appreciated
it.
At Fry's, they have the joysticks and stuff.
But and they have the one where it's like
they had the plastic ones, but then they had some metal ones.
Yeah,
and I was like, whoa, this feels sturdy.
So is it in like a chair and you have like?
This was they were just selling the controllers.
Okay.
By
so
themselves.
what else did it have? Did it have like the lever for the?
Yeah, it had one of those. That was a separate unit on its own. You could buy all those and then like probably build your own thing.
You could have like an amateur version of what we saw with that one dude who had like, the whole airplane.
Dude, if I could have like a hydraulic machine that didn't make it move,
that'd be awesome.
I'd never leave my house.
Well, in Seattle they have them, right? They have the.
You guys went on
dude,
right?
Yeah, the Air Museum.
Wait, tell me that story.
Yeah, that thing was
on air,
sick.
in
I
person.
was getting sick because the mule was just banking it like left and right.
What were you supposed to be simulating?
my
Like
God.
not a
It was
fighter jet. It was.
No, it was a fighter jet.
It was a fighter jet.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but
So
I
it was a little
don't.
bit.
It wasn't like the highest end one because they do have ones for like commercial airplanes and like for the the Boeing Max. They have one for that as well. Yeah. That's how they like.
Yeah, they do.
But this one was like it was supposed to be a fighter jet, but the hydraulics are still pretty nuts.
Okay, I'm sure they have better simulators too.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying, right? For
for
even like fighter.
Yeah.
Jets.
But this one was pretty funny because the people was just like, banking it left, banking.
I was doing like three,
and I was on shooting.
pretty
I
hard.
was like, because I had to concentrate at like the targets and stuff. So it's like the wheel's like banking it, moving.
And this thing would go upside down.
Oh,
that's
too.
Yeah.
I was
So I kept doing that.
Like,
I kept doing that, and we were just like hanging upside down.
Dude, like actually,
you guys were like screaming, right? And it wasn't soundproof. That was the.
I don't think it was because we could hear.
Like you guys walked out,
Yeah.
and there were like little kids staring at you guys.
We got nuts, kids.
Because everyone else was just kind of like whatever doing it. And the Beal was just like upside down.
We gotta dodge him. We gotta dodge the missiles.
What missiles there?
This is a commercial.
I don't know.
Damn, that does sound sick though.
We're shooting at World War II planes in a fighter jet.
In a fighter jet.
But yeah, at one point I was like, all right, Nabil, please stop.
And I was like, I'm getting sick.
Yeah.
Walk around
Because I have to concentrate, like, especially I realize even going on your phone in the car, it's like I get sick after a while.
Yeah.
But
I get car sick easily.
So anyway,
Back to Faisal's story.
Computer building, we realized his memory is bad. And then I'm like, all right, you're going to have to RMA it. And of course, he was bummed out about that. And then, so then
he sent
he
a screenshot like, I'm with you, brother.
My computer works.
Psych.
And so then he RMA'd it, or he started the RMA process.
What was this for again? The PSU you said?
No, this is for the memory.
Oh, right.
RAM.
Okay, memory is correct.
Dude,
that's crazy.
And then as he was signing, he had to sign up for a new account to like submit a new RMA ticket.
Was this a Corsair?
This is Corsair.
Okay.
And then like as he logged in on the homepage, Corsair sent him a message saying there's a recall on his water cooler that he got, where at 1% of all the units would create a leak or something, and then there was a possibility.
1%.
There's a possibility that even if you didn't have the leak now, that it could happen over time.
And they're like, double check your cooler and see if like you have the 4 serial digits.
Oh, okay.
And then of course he
Defective batch. Yeah. And the problem with that is, RAM you can easily take out, but the CPU cooler, his is water cooled as well, so it's just a whole like hassle. Well, taking off any CPU cooler is a little bit of a hassle because you have to. There's mounts on the back of the motherboard and the front of the motherboard, so it's just
you have to take it all apart.
Yeah, and it's an involved process, and then you have to reapply the thermal paste and clean off the old one.
Make sure not break anything in the process.
Exactly. So then he's like, "Oh, great!" And then,
damn, did he send it?
Is he just gonna live with it?
I don't know. I tell him to send it back because it's like this is basically free, and you don't want to run into that problem.
Imagine like I don't know, a few months later, it just leaks on all your components.
Yeah, right. Then everything.
And they're all.
Dude, that's the worst.
We got Selma Tufel. This is Selma and Anika from Managa.
Manyaga. No, it's Malaga.
Oh, I see. Malaga.
Oh, maybe.
No, it's Malaga.
Yeah.
What's the topic? Well, as you are regular viewers, we don't usually have topics, but if you want to throw one at us, we'd be obliged to entertain it.
What have been the topics?
Let's just wait in silence.
Yeah. I guess our topics have been soundproof, noise pollution.
Let's talk about your motorcycle some more now.
Oh,
it's riding weather, dude. You should have gone today. What's happening?
You came. You idiot.
I was invited.
It's all your fault.
This is all your fault.
You guys thanked me.
Yeah, I like looking at it while I'm working out, but I haven't taken it out yet. I haven't been in the optimal conditions.
Dude.
Still a little moisture from.
I started up the Miata.
Yeah. Actually, we were actually thinking of doing this as like a
convert the Miata to electric. 4 motors. I need someone to make a controller. It's gonna be a long process.
We wanted to do like a moto vlog where it's like me on the Grom and then Beal on the Miata.
Yeah.
It's just like a lack of progress on one side.
Right. Both our machines break down.
Yeah, right.
Someone's asking, how do we reduce noise pollution? Panels of soundproof acoustic material. And build a room within a room, concrete.
If you're not in California.
Yeah, even if you are, just figure it out somehow.
But
but in an apartment or something, we concluded there's no real option.
Yeah, not much you can do. Right?
Unless you own the building.
Yeah.
Then they'd see.
Although Bose has been doing their noise cancellation.
Oh yeah.
What if you just had that like installed across your house?
Actually, noise cancellation. I actually thought about that.
Oh really?
But yeah,
headphones.
I was just thinking about putting those.
No, they have like
that I have.
So in their headphones, they have something where it's like they have a frequency where it reduces outside noise, not just with compression, but
from what I've seen, it seems to like completely invert the signal.
Oh, okay.
But it has to be really fast then, which is crazy, right? Because like whatever noise you hear coming in has to like be flipped in reverse and then output, and then it cancels out the like.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I guess they have the microphone on the outside.
Yeah,
right?
that's
how they do it.
It's to like detect the ambient noise,
so
which is crazy.
I use open back headphones because I like the way it sounds better. Have you ever used any open back headphones?
Am I using them right now?
No. Then so these are closed. See how these are? There's like plastic. So open back would be like a vented.
Aren't those?
Yes, actually they are. Nice call there.
Our sponsor for today.
No, they are not.
We won't show them.
This is actually your mom using my phone. I'll say something witty in a bit.
Come on, let's take her on. Let's give her some cues.
Stay in tune then.
Let's wait.
We'll wait here.
With a lollipop?
Yeah, I'll get my lollipop. Oh yeah, so Nabil, how's everything else going, man?
Pretty good.
Let's revisit this job search. How about that? It's been a while since we talked about it on the podcast.
That's true. I haven't started it. I haven't started looking for jobs. My progress in software development has slowed.
Okay. Do you think that's because you're not as interested in it?
Yeah, yes, but I still am interested in it. I know, and I think of larger scale things. I'm like, I know this is something I want to get into. Sometimes when I get into the micro stuff, the nitty gritty stuff, the actual programming, it can feel I lose sight of the bigger picture, I guess.
Yeah, that's always the issue.
And so I just need to make my goal was to make a chat application to use in an interview to be like, hey, this is what I can make. This is how I talk to databases, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I haven't completed that yet.
Yeah, I feel like there's a big need for the back-end developers.
Yeah. Well, I guess I do think I want to manage, like, I want to build APIs, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've kind of narrowed down on.
Interesting.
Specifically GraphQL APIs, which is another subcategory within APIs.
Educate us.
I will.
I can't.
I don't know.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Anika Rana says, this is me now. So we met a Russian man whose family lives in Malaga, and he visits them every few weeks. Would any of you live that life? Russian man who was... So well, basically it'd be like if we...
Stay away from our family.
Yeah. She's hinting at you guys. Yeah. You guys ever want to
leave? Or...
Would you ever?
Yeah.
How will the work environment change? I don't know what that means, but I mean, that'd be like us visiting Pakistan, right?
I guess it's the question, like, would we work remote? You know, like the Bali thing, people work like 6 months somewhere else. I would do that, I think, sometimes, maybe.
Yeah, maybe for a short term.
Right conditions, of course.
Right conditions, yeah.
Oh, any new ideas of
working?
Any ideas about a new way of working, Ajit? Meaning what you just said, like...
remotely.
She spelled my name wrong.
Yeah.
Oh. Damn.
Yeah.
Ajit. Yeah, Ajit. Kind of like Nabil, I guess.
Nabil.
Yeah.
My manager had an I instead of 2 E's. Yeah, what was the question?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I would work remotely. I mean, I think that's how everyone's going to do it. How do you break the box?
Or do you want to
break the box?
I mean... I feel like I'm not the person to ask about this. There's like the open office space. They tried that, right? Where everyone just kind of like...
Which we don't like, right? I don't
a lot of people do. I
That's
had
okay.
cubes, and I'm all right with either. I guess I like the idea of
as long as your coworkers
like if
are
you
not
had a
annoying.
preference,
yeah.
I think I would still prefer the box. So.
The cubicle?
So Cisco did it interesting because it was open office space, but they had like, I guess what used to be the offices are now just like conference rooms or like individual rooms. So you could do like, you know, you have your desk, but you could go spend a day in like one of the rooms if you really need it. They also were like really supportive about like working from home and stuff, which for me, that's how I do my best work. If I have work to do, but if you want to collaborate and stuff, I don't like video chat applications and everything. So
interesting.
I would say as long as a work environment is flexible enough where you can do it from anywhere, like I feel like the norm now is just always kind of being connected, being online. Like you'll always have chat or email. There'll be some form of reaching you if needed. I feel like you can just, you know, as long as the workplace is flexible enough for like, okay, maybe it's like 1 o'clock and you don't have anything to do. Like there's a lot of cases I feel like where people like running simulations or something, especially like Cisco when I worked there. But they would just go, then that's when they would do their errands. Like there's no traffic. I'll go like get my oil changed and stuff, get some food. And then they come back a couple hours later and there's really not much they could have done in that time. Yeah. But if you're forced to just be there 9 to 5, you just wasted 3 hours of like doing nothing. There. And then like, all right, that's going to move to the next day now.
No more 9 to 5. How can you be productive without working the way we do? Does being connected make you productive?
I think it depends how you stay connected. You know, I feel like you need to set some boundaries and like set your time. Like, all right, this is when I'm going to be doing this, but I'll come back to work and do it like this time or something.
Yeah. You'd probably just need a lot of self-motivation if you're not working in the office.
The thing is, you have to prevent like burnout too. Right?
Yeah, that's
like you don't want your best employees getting burnt out because they're just constantly like taking stuff on, and like you got to have some kind of. My karate instructor used to say relaxation, explosion, because you have to like build up to something, but then when when it's time, you need to go like 100%. But other than that, you can just stay
what about
ready.
Maintaining some sort of steady flow? Let's split some categories here or create some.
Yeah.
Let's say you have the relax and explode, where you're productive in peaks.
Yeah.
Can you be productive on a more stable kind of graph?
Well, a lot of stuff right now is like for example, when you're programming, right? Or when you have like a challenge to solve, when it's not like when you're not like doing labor, like menial labor, like or manual labor, there's like a throughput you can measure, right? But if you're just trying to build something, for example, you can hit a block and no amount of sitting there, staring, coffee, whatever will help you. Yeah. At that point, you have to I think I've said this on the podcast before too, but I would always wake up with like solutions to problems I was having and stuff. Like, or like a fresh mind to think of like, oh, I didn't try this, and it would most of the time work. Like, but you know, the nights that I would say stressing like until 9 or 10, like just trying a bunch of things, nothing would ever like come about. Which is why you have to be productive. You can't like procrastinate as much. So if you only have 12 hours to do something, and you're just forcing yourself, you're not going to come up with like the best results. So I always started all my assignments like the first day they were assigned, and get as much as I could done, and then the next day I'd get as much as I could. And if I was ever stuck on something, I would either move to like a new assignment or just take a break, do whatever. But you have to be like on top. You have to always be working then.
So when you run into a problem, your solution is to work on like give that one a break and then work on another problem.
Yeah, or just like take a break entirely. Like,
was there any
watching TV?
Okay, gotcha.
Go for a run, whatever it might be.
And would you come back to that problem within the day or
depends?
Next day?
I would. That's the thing. When I would leave things, like let's say I was studying or something and I didn't get a topic, I would go for a run, come back in 30 minutes, shower, shave, do whatever I needed, like get all that stuff done and relax. And then I would sit down and just have something. Like I would think of something on my run or something new to try to like fix an issue I was having. Or, I would just leave it. I'd be like, today it's done. Like, if it's 6 o'clock and I'm, like, tired and I know I have time to do it, I'll be like, okay, well, that's it for the day. I'm going to recuperate and then, like, come back at it in the morning because I know I'm productive then again.
Yeah. I guess you can still pace it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be all gung-ho in one day.
Unless you have a deadline, which is what sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
Tight deadlines or, like, you procrastinated, like. Okay,
I'm going to rain more questions on you.
Okay.
Are there any metrics for productivity, as in patterns or algorithms? Are our units of work different from what the future needs? Does it have to be limited by time? Could we imagine that some folk are unproductive but entertaining, and some just exist for their existence?
I think these are
all a lot of questions.
Yeah, I think each one of these is super insightful, and there's like 5 of them. Yeah. I'm posting all of it like yes, no.
So how do we approach a problem that is approaching questions?
Well, we're in a new. There's
one at a time, I would say.
Like I was saying, throughput can be measured if you're doing like if I'm making food or if I'm like building something, which is also awesome. I love doing that to clear my mind too. Like I love just cooking or something, and now I can measure my throughput of like also I've done something productive for the week. Like I can make all my food now, and here's how much. Like I can measure it out, or like, it's interesting to be able to measure your work. That's super like.
It's kind of cool. Yeah. I think now with like so apps and stuff, they make it easier.
Yeah, how do you record productivity without having to do any data entry? Yeah. I feel like that's a huge wall between. Yeah, we have apps that can do that stuff, but the whole manual
I would have to go and be like, okay, I was concentrating from this time to this time or something. I feel like it wouldn't be as rewarding, but if there is an answer to this, I would love to hear it.
For me, it would be like the to-do list. So they have like the whatever tasks you have. So in regards to your messenger app, maybe it would be like one component of that app. I'm doing this today and then this other component. And then once you completed them, the app like records like, oh, you've completed this. True. And then it's like a point system where
that's true.
So that's what I like to do because then it's like
trackers.
Okay, so at the end of the day, I like seeing like there's nothing for tomorrow morning.
I love doing that, planning things out.
Because then at least like then I'll know like, okay, tomorrow morning I'll have to check my emails and I'll get new tasks. But
do you ever find it challenging though to like segment it, like to actually figure out what do I need to do and like what are the pieces to it? How do I split it up? I feel like that's the barrier to entry there.
I think for me it's the prioritizing part is hard because like sometimes I don't know, like a deadline it's kind of makes sense. Okay, this needs to be done by tomorrow, but like sometimes I'm wondering like, okay, what do I need to work on first? Yeah,
exactly. My manager at Micron was really good about it, but at Cisco, everything was priority 1.
Oh, really?
Like, what do you want me to do, dude? Like, I can only work on maybe 2 things max. Which one do you want most urgently? It's like Michael Scott, dude. Like this is, I mark him urgent, very urgent, most urgent.
That was what you were experiencing?
Dude, I hope he listens to this. I did not like him at all. No, I'm just kidding. He was a different kind. I had never had a manager like that before. Like he was very micromanaging, and there was a lot of pressure on that team, but like I could see people burning out and just like not being happy and stuff. So but at Micron, it was like even when it was kind of crunch time, my manager was really good about like helping us with priorities, measuring what we can do and like basing it off of that. Because it's like there's also some things that'll be harder for some people, and everyone kind of has to do their share of some of the like grunt work. which like at a certain point it became just mostly grunt work, and that's when I was like, okay, this is maybe now the time to like.
Yeah, I think like you were saying, burnout would be inevitable. And going to Mom's question, that like how do you measure productivity on metrics? Like at Yelp, they had like talk time and like dials, right? And but it's like, dude, no,
that's not a
because there's some like really good sales reps that would always be in the red talk time, red dials or whatever. But I think they just do that because I don't know, maybe to show the upper management or something.
Yeah, there has to be
there's some reason,
So for like
to measure,
I like bug trackers in like software context and stuff. It's easy to use. Like you file an issue, someone will like take care of it. You know, like if I'm looking at something, I'm like, oh, this is wrong. I'll put it in the system. Then I can fix it, or someone else can fix it. And so like that's sharing a problem. Then you can measure. Like I would go and look at like some people are like, oh, go look at my previous bug and you'll find a solution in there. So I would go and look. I was like, oh, 30 pages. Like they've been here for so long, they've had like 30 pages of issues that they've solved.
Right.
But that's also not a good measure because some issues are really easy. Some people just get the hard issues and they have like 5 every time, you know? But
it's like, I'm doing all these.
Yeah, I would crank some out. I'm like, this is easy. Let me take this. This is changing.
Put my name.
Yeah, this is semicolon.
Are those kind of bugs, are majority of bugs, is it due to bad design? Or is it not?
Okay, so my manager was very pushy, and I could see all the bugs being solved would just make more bugs. And he would come back like, we can't make more bugs with the solving bugs. And we're like, what do you want us to do, dude? Like, more time or something. Like, hire some more people. It's not my job to find a solution to this, but if everything's priority 1 needs to be done right now, then nothing's going to get done properly, right?
Yeah. Like, defeats the priority. The priority system falls apart.
And then if you went in and, like, I was always on top of my stuff, so I would go there and I'd be like, I'd go to the status meeting, like, look, here's what I'm doing, here's my status, and, like, you can extrapolate the time from there, but I think, like, 2 days. And then he would understand. If you went in with, like, a valid reasoning, but a lot of people would just come in and be like, I can't do it right now. It's like they couldn't express themselves in, like, what a manager wants to hear. I would be like, here, this is the issue, this is what I'm solving, like, if someone can help me with this, or I don't know how to do this. You gotta just come in with, like, even if I've done nothing that day, I'll come in like, look, here's what was holding me up, and I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry I'm not as smart as you want me to be, but
were your managers the ones who would design these systems that you're debugging?
No, that's the weird thing. There's like middle management. They were kind of like
they're managing the people.
Yeah. They're your barrier between like you and like upper management. Like they were just middle managers or middlemen. They would communicate they would have to be good. So one thing people commended my manager for was being able to express our issues to like other people and blame other people almost for like what's going on and like buy us some time or like you know.
Sounds like an inefficient system.
It's really that's why like
ironic coming from engineers.
Well, you would think people can't communicate either.
The people who design the systems and the features that you guys would work on, and when I say you guys, I mean just like the engineers,
you people.
the engineers who are fixing the systems. Who like, do you ever get to? Am I even describing the situation correctly when I say where do the system designers sit, and like would you be able to communicate to them?
I mean, everything's different too. For example, when I went to... Now, here's what was interesting. I went to Chicago to interview, right? And I was interviewing at a financial firm. They do high-frequency trading. So they need people to, like, build high-powered computers and stuff, like HPC, high-performance computing, just to, like, literally make money. They're, like, selling and trading stocks on, like, you know, very frequently. So they gave me a tour of how the office worked. Because I was super curious, too. It was, like, it's in the Sears Tower in Chicago, right? One of the top floors. And they have like 2 of the floors. So, and it's just like full 360. And I was like, yeah, how does it work? Please give me a tour. So they have like traders on one side, right? Like literally stock traders. They come up against like algorithms and stuff. Then they have like a software team and like an FPGA team. They're all like siloed kind of, but they interact with each other. So they're like sitting in different areas. But this place has such high like cross communication. Like, you know everyone, and everyone talks to each other. Everyone's always interacting with each other.
Gotcha.
Which makes a lot of sense to me. And I'm sure there's like some kind of managers and stuff, but it seemed like pretty flat and just like open across. Now, that was kind of the way Cisco was when like the team I was on, but it's such a big company that even within Cisco, I'm sure everywhere is different. But we would have, like some different teams sitting on our floor, but most of the time they weren't even relevant to us at all, you know? Right. And we were like working on a product that touched pretty much every piece of like the hardware, for example.
Gotcha.
And we would still, like, I had no need to talk to, like, 80% of the people on that floor.
Yeah.
But the 20% was really nice to have there.
I think I would kind of prefer that, like, I like communicating with people, but like I don't want them to be so close to where it's like, dude, if they want something done, they just walk over in the middle of.
You have no idea. I always have my noise proof, my like, nice Bose.
I do that sometimes.
And those come up and like put their face there, and I would, dude, every single week. Oh God. And they're like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna rain down a bunch of things here.
So maybe 2 at a time.
To sum it up, I'm just gonna chug it all right now. To sum it up, is productivity really such a big deal? What if the majority of the population was unproductive? But if we broke the point system and thought of a totally new way of thinking, could we not expect folk to do work, just accept it and move on? Let the people who want to work do it.
Well, this is the universal basic income premise, I think. No.
I don't think everyone needs a manager. Managers should make the communication clear. Nabil, what kind of manager would you be?
Oh, no.
I don't know. What kind of manager would I be?
Yeah, like, what kind of types are there? Let's define some, maybe. Maybe that'll help you. There's the, like, hands-on.
I don't think I've ever had a, I mean, I've never had a micromanaging manager.
Okay, you're lucky.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I don't know if anyone responds well to it.
I don't, There's no, it kind of
people who pretend.
It defeats the purpose.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, kiss it out. I would do that.
Yeah, I would too. Just to avoid it.
Yeah, right? Once you flash, people don't realize, if you flash a smile, like like workday gets so much easier. People leave you alone if you like.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, like he's at least pleasant. When you just like fight back with people, dude.
Dude, yeah. There was someone I worked with where he was like fighting back with like upper management.
Oh God.
I'm like, dude, you're like, even if you like have a winning argument, you're still not gonna win. So just don't do it.
No one's gonna like this.
Like,
dude, yeah.
But
like push back and like.
So yeah, I guess.
And micromanagers it defeats the purpose of managing in the first place.
Yeah.
You're supposed to manage on a macro level.
That's the thing. The manager is accountable for what happens, right? So if he doesn't if the results aren't produced, it's on him in the views of like upper management. So they want to correct their behavior. So if you just say like, okay, if my manager told me like, go do this, and I would push back a little bit, I think it's better to do this. He's like, no, this is the way. I'd be like, that's your, that's your decision now.
The only thing I can think of is like maybe a micromanager is more beneficial to the corporation because you're like, maybe there will be burnout, but if it's a job that can be easily replaced.
Yeah. I feel like that's happening at Tesla.
But the only problem is,
yeah, probably.
You're spending
or like Amazon warehouse.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
You're also spending a lot of time then
training and
it's kind of overlap time because if you're micromanaging, this should be stuff that the individual is managing. Yeah. Now you're wasting time.
Yeah. It also I that's what I'm saying. I don't think anyone responds well to it to the point where like I was producing less. I was like doing less because I was wasting half my time. Like if you're in a train of thought, if you're in a cycle, which goes back to what I was saying with like you don't have to be at the office 9 to 5 working to actually be working. Like most of the throughput right now is like creativity and like actually, it's not really that measurable. But yeah, if you're like,
I think the best managers are probably ones that are always asking to help. Like, how can I help? Or what do you need?
Right.
And then also are working on the same thing you're working on or similar. Like
they have to like the best managers that I've had were former engineers that got promoted to manager. So they understand how it works, how to do
what the problems you're dealing with.
Yeah. So
I agree.
I feel like when you're too far removed from that, which is what happened with my most recent manager. If you don't understand how it works as much, like if you lose touch.
Yeah, there's a level of you have to kind of trust. You have to like communicate some idea that's like, this is what we're trying to accomplish, and then at some point you have to let go and be like, I just trust that you're going to do it to at least the standard we've defined.
That's true.
And if not, you have review periods where you can be like, we need to change this, that, and the other thing.
Or maybe you're bad at hiring.
That's what I'm saying. Who's bad on like the hiring manager, the manager? If like
Anika says, we need vision for a new work environment.
I think it's already happening.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
It's very prevalent right now. Yeah. I'm actually amazed. Like, I think I've been seeing less traffic because there's been more work from home and stuff. Like,
I was suspecting that as well, too. Especially on Friday. Like, there's like no traffic at all.
Dude, I can make it to work in like 20 minutes and like what should have been peak traffic, I think.
Which maybe is a Bay Area thing. I don't know. Or maybe in other areas.
I mean, I think that's the only solution to the Bay Area right now. is like work from home, get less people on the road, like
And
because a lot of people can.
Yeah.
Selma says, do you think managers should take on the role of a mentor?
I think it depends. I think it depends on like where the manager is in his career and where the like other person is, like the managee, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I really liked, as like a fresh grad, first job, having my manager was pretty like, he was, very kind too. Mm-hmm. So it actually did seem like a mentor relationship. Like he would always talk to like, even if you were to leave Micron, this would be like a good thing to have, or like this would be a good thing to know. He was always realistic about like personal growth. Mm-hmm. And I always attribute that to like a mentor kind of, but at the same time they work for the company.
Yeah.
So it has to be like, it will always be subdued. And I think if both parties can understand that, then it's like a good relationship.
During your interview process, are you able to detect whether or not the manager is you're going to enjoy working with them? Or can you detect if this guy's going to be a micromanager? I don't want to work with this guy.
In all my interviews, I've heard that about the like the employees would come in and tell me. That's why I like going directly for the team, like having a interview with the team.
Mm-hmm. So they're going to tell you the truth.
They're going to tell you. They'll honestly because they'll be like, make your own decision. I don't want you working with me if you're not going to like this manager or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But what happened to me was I interviewed, got the job, all under this one manager, and everyone had really good things to say about him, and I really liked him too. Mm-hmm. And then like a month after I actually started, that guy quit. Yeah. And then we got this new manager.
Damn.
And dude, I was like, I got trapped. I was
gonna say
the new manager was not good.
No, I didn't like the manager I had after I got hired. Oh. But the one who I wanted to work for.
Left. Gotcha.
Yeah. So that guy would have been amazing. I could tell too from like the month that I worked with him.
Right.
But because he was not micromanaging at all, he was also a former engineer, so he knew. People were like, he'll just take your keyboard and start working on it sometimes too. Wow. Like, that's the kind of manager you'd want to have.
I was gonna say you can't. Well, at least at my current place, it's not very easy to determine that. Like, initially going into the interview, I thought this one guy would be like kind of micromanagey, but then like his just by some of the questions he was asking and like how motivated or how much you want to be here, that kind of stuff. But then, family. Right? Do you really need this?
I don't like those people.
So, but when I started working there, he was the complete opposite of that. He was like very chill, very relaxed.
Interesting.
Didn't like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It could also be like, notice after like a year, you get more comfortable with your work environment and stuff, and like I think you become a little more laid back. Like how everything works now, and you can talk to and stuff. Maybe that's what happened to him. Like, actually, I was pretty new, but now I'm like understanding my role better.
Or maybe for them, they like you want to get people who are most motivated in the recruiting process, and then like after that, it's like, all right, I don't really care. That's true. I know you'll do your work. I did my job. I did my job.
So, question to all of us: who would you mentor and when? Who would I mentor?
I mean, I would need a little more experience. Yeah, Ajit.
And I get Daniel.
Yeah. Wait, which one were you reading?
I would only mentor if like somebody had approached me. Well, one, obviously, I have to be at some position of like I know a lot. Yeah. But two, I wouldn't like go out to find someone to mentor. But like if I was in a work environment and I don't know, you're just talking to someone who's maybe a junior to you, and it's kind of feels natural to like just help them out, then that's kind of that's how I would mentor someone, I suppose.
I guess you have to like them too. Like, this guy could be my friend, but I'm just old. So.
Right.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to be with them, but I'm older. So.
You also don't want to be a mentor, like a reaching out mentor, like, oh yeah, let me help you with this. Like, all right, dude, I've been at this company 10 years longer.
I'm more working.
No, let me show you the ropes.
Young buck.
Young buck.
Dude, I had some guy that did that to me at Cisco when I was like an intern. Oh, okay. I was like a sophomore, so I was like, what do you even do here? Like, am I being harassed?
Let me show you the ropes, young lad.
This guy would always like
mentor and when I would probably mentor and like once I gain enough experience, I feel like 5 to 10.
I feel like
and have something to
right.
What about starting your own business, the Jeep tech business? Would you ever consider that?
I always do. I always have. I think I always will too.
Is there something is there a business you could start that you could have running while you're working?
Probably, yeah.
Because I think that's a good model, because you don't want to, give up your job and do this something full time and then doesn't work.
Especially, yeah, I'm that kind of person.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, I'm sure I'm always looking for like side hustles. I think, here's the thing.
But specifically technology. I'm not talking about like opening a...
Well, so here, I have an interesting story that like Amir Patel told me actually. And I actually really like this because what's your ideal job? It's just like your hobby, right? And not even like working for money necessarily, If you could just have a hobby that you didn't have to rely on, that would be ideal. So this guy, I guess, like, in San Francisco, made a bunch of money, probably was like part of some IPO. And then he just always liked Japanese culture, so I guess he went to Japan, learned about sake or something, and then came back here and wanted to brew his own sake. And so, Japan is notoriously like, they keep everything within Japan. Like, they would never... Sure. Yeah, they don't necessarily like they wouldn't like a sake brewed in like America or something. That's just notoriously how they are. This guy ended up winning an award for his sake brewed in like San Francisco. Amir was saying that he like toured his factory and stuff. So what was actually interesting was he was a software engineer or something before, made some money, decided to like kind of retire and do this on the side as like his job. But he incorporated Arduino boards and stuff into like measuring the like having sensors for measuring the pressure, whatever you need to like brew perfect sake, and kind of automated that. Just for fun, just as like a hobby. And now people are trying to buy that machinery.
Oh, nice.
Like these Arduino like control systems for brewing, wine, beer, whatever.
Right.
And so now he's making money off of something that he just like did for fun. And so that's something I would want to find. I want something I'd want to do, connect some hobbies. And so I've always thought about that. But also like, there's so many different things you could do, right? Like you can make an app now. You can make like a YouTube channel and be successful on that.
That's true. But will you actually? But will you realistically do these things? And if so, when?
Yeah, it's a good question. There's also just that like you can make like an enterprise company that sells.
And again, I'm on board of the whole. You're not necessarily doing it to make a bunch of money, but like more like it's fun, and you want to make money in the process.
Yeah, see, it's a hard question to answer because that's all I can say. I feel like is that's what I'd want to do, and I hope I can do that someday, but I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe. Do you think your job right now takes up too much time for you?
Well, I'll start tomorrow, so I'll let you know. Oh. You'll have to have me back on.
He was in school.
Yeah, I was working part time.
You were working part time. Gotcha.
So I'm really interested in what's going to happen next because I just graduated. So
that's true.
I finished my undergrad. I worked for a year, but in that time I was applying to school. So I was like, getting my application, everything ready. And so only for a brief period of time did I only have work. That's what's interesting to me is now like ever since then. It's been 3 years since I've not had school or work, like I've been doing them both at the same time in parallel. Because I also started part-time in January. So I was like, again, part-time work, full-time school. So now I'm interested in seeing like without homework and stuff, because school is always like a constant thing on your mind. There's always assignments, there's always studying to do. There's always things to learn. Now that I can focus on just one thing, like I wonder what it's going to be like. I wonder if I'm going to feel as stressed or...
Do you think the subject matter you learned in your master's program is helping you in your new job?
Yeah, 100%.
100%?
I don't think I would have, I think it would have been really hard to get, like, all this stuff recently if I wasn't doing my master's.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Especially, like, the move to Cisco, too. It definitely helped. Because I met someone in one of my classes who worked at Cisco that helped me, like, he referred me to his team.
Gotcha.
Because it was very similar to what we were doing in that class. It was like a computer systems architecture class. So, having that knowledge, he knew that I would be like a good fit. And I knew like the job would be a good fit because it's, a topic I'm already kind of vetted in and interested in.
Do you think, how would you compare that with how applicable your undergrad education was to your job?
Still very relevant.
Very relevant.
Well, yeah, I could say a lot about this for a long time, but...
I was going to say, we got time, but
we don't.
We got 3 minutes.
I was watching that. So, I don't know. I think...
Is school worth it?
Yes.
That's what I'm asking.
It depends what you get. So, I really like Stanford because, again, it was like interdisciplinary. You don't really know where CS and EE like end and begin over there. So, and they also mix in like there's a major called Symbolic Systems, which Marissa Meyer did, who's ex-CEO of Yahoo, I guess. She or like the major is a mix of like some computer science, some humanities, all this like science, math, everything. And so you get kind of like a well-rounded. So in undergrad, I guess the one thing I regret is maybe not taking like other classes too seriously. Like I probably should have done more like philosophy classes or something, rather than just focus on like EE heavy. But that ended up helping. I feel like a lot.
I think you're fine in your decision.
Yeah,
I don't think you need any more philosophy classes.
I do want to learn. I want to read some books or something. I want to learn how to read. Not
literate.
That's my next goal. Actually, though, I know I talked about stand-up last time, but I do want to get my pilot's license. It's something I've always talked about too.
Okay.
So I think one of those two things.
Haven't you flown a plane before?
I have twice.
It was a glider, right? Or
they pushed me off a cliff.
Yeah. No, it was a proper plane.
Oh, it was actually
a Cessna 172.
Okay.
It was a single engine.
Oh, damn.
It's actually.
And you don't need a pilot license to fly
I was
that?
gonna say.
No, you do. So I was with the licensed pilot. So while you're learning, obviously you're not like. So it was basically my first lesson.
Oh, okay.
But so I've done that like twice now. I've logged like 2 hours of flying. You need a certain amount. So the first time I did do that, the guy who took us, which is another side hustle, which is why I also want to get my pilot's license. This guy is an engineer at Apple. He just gets paid by these people to teach people how to fly.
Oh, okay.
So he doesn't have to rent a plane or anything, but he gets to fly basically. I got to like man the controls and stuff, but he was obviously doing all the flying.
Gotcha.
And he got paid for it.
Okay.
So I'm like, dude, that's a pretty sweet side hustle, you know? Once you have your license, you get paid to fly. Like,
that's true.
Transport some stuff.
Yeah, right? airdrop some stuff. And it'd be cool just like, I mean, if you can fly like a single engine jet in like perfect weather conditions, you know, every now and again, just pay a couple $100, rent a jet, fly to like Santa Barbara or something, if it makes it that far.
For the weekend.
Yeah, right?
If it makes it that far.
That would be pretty rad.
That'd be pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Go out to Davis for a day.
I saw a video of ex-Marine or something that bought a it's those airplanes that can take off like vertically.
Oh, what?
They're called Harriets, I think.
What?
Wait, is that like
I think I've heard of
military
that.
jet?
That's what I was gonna say.
What?
So he was one of the first.
You buy one of those.
He's one of the first civilians to fly a military jet, and like as he's calling the airline association or whatever, he's like. First he said the jet, and then the guy's like, yeah, okay, buddy. And then he's like, no, but I used to be in the military, and like I've flown this and that.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's like, okay, I suppose that's fine, but you know we're gonna be watching you like a hawk. And he's like, yeah, I understand. And then so he was able to
really
fly. I think it's called a Harriet. There's
there's
only one kind of jet.
One? Yeah,
there's only one kind of jet that takes off vertically.
Yeah,
I know.
I didn't know they still had those actually.
They don't. I don't think they're in active use.
Yeah,
but so he bought one like.
It's crazy.
Half off.
Yeah.
Can you buy a tank?
Yeah, I think so.
I think Arnold bought a tank.
I don't know. Yeah, the tank is one thing, but then if you're interested in the ammunition, that's a whole other thing.
Whoa.
I'd say.
I mean, tank is really just a diesel truck with a lot of armor.
A lot of armor.
Where can you drive that thing legally, though?
Legally, I mean,
if it's just a diesel
off road, I don't think you can drive on the road.
Yeah, you probably can.
You probably destroy the road.
That's what I'm saying. How do you even transport
commuter
that thing? Anyway, that's
all right.
It's my beater car.
This is Anika. Love the show today. We need this guest to return.
Aww.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
All right. Well, if that's all, then yeah, it's about time. So I'll wrap it up. Thanks for listening, and toodaloo.
Bye, guys.